made for. Beacons are a tool to place in an area. Okay, and Mike, type this in there: blog blog.beaconfunnels.com. Go to our blog and read the article that Mike posted today. It's an exceptional article. It's at blog.beaconfunnels.com. Blog.beaconfunnels.com. It's the newest post on there. It's an excellent post, and I recommend that you read that and go into that. But I want to welcome everybody to our Beacon Funnels training. Not sure what happened last week, but and for those of you, we talked about a couple of changes about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We're keeping everything exactly like it is right now, instead of making a change on the Facebook side. You know, it's funny. The very people that said, "Hey, nobody's using this," were the first ones to chime up and said, "Oh, well, don't take it away." So we're going to leave everything just like it is, and the My Special Deals program is not going to change at all. We are going to bring in uh, SMS texting for businesses. SMS is a huge part of the marketing platform and a huge part of the marketing program, other than just sending out the nearby. So over the next few weeks, we're getting all that done. As many of you know, or maybe you don't know, SMS is changing probably faster than anything in the world. Shared short codes are going away, completely going away. The majority of businesses out there that are using SMS texting uses a shared short code. Now, short codes are not going away. Okay. You can purchase a short code for about $3,000 to $5,000 if you want a vanity short code, and anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month. So if someone wants a short code, just let me know. Write me a check, and we will be more than happy to set you up a short code. But shared short codes are no more. Okay. Yes, there's some still out there. Okay. People are still using them. But this is what's going to happen. Sometime in February, AT&T is going to come out and give a deadline date, okay, and say, okay, shared short codes are no longer going to work, all right? And all the other carriers are following suit. So what all the businesses are doing, and like we did, we are being very proactive, okay? We've already changed our short code over. And the reason we did that is because we have a lot of marketing campaigns that are launching out this late winter, early spring. And we didn't want everybody out there on a shared short code. And then guess what happens? Poof, it's all gone. So, uh, you know, you're going to start seeing more and more of the long codes, long tail codes come up. It's a normal phone number. Okay. But what we did is in the past, you could get, a phone number for every area, and that gets extremely expensive. So what we did is we got an 800 number, and we're following suit with the larger corporations who said, hey, we don't want to have to buy a phone number in every area code. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an 800 number. So we got an 888 number. And so as we put this package together for businesses, if you want a shared short code, a short code, not a shared short code, be more than happy to do that for you. It's going to be about, $1,000 a month and about 3,000 to 5,000 to set up, depending on what you want. Don't have a problem doing that. We can do that. But the problem being is every single person that wants a short code has to have an individual short code, or you cannot use them because they're no longer going to be available. So let's switch over this key. Any questions on the short code at all before I switch over? I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, let me switch my screen. All right, so you should be able to see my screen. Can everyone see my screen? I want to make sure that everybody can see my screen. I can see it on my phone. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Okay. When you sign into your back end, when you sign into your platform, this is the first page you come up to. This is the dashboard. Now, one thing, the biggest question I get, and if you will notice when you roll over some of these things here, like dormant beacons, it says beacons that have sent 0 notifications in the last 7 days. I have people call me all the time. Hey, my beacon is dormant. Okay. And the first question I ask is, where's your beacon? I'm not really sure. Well, it's dormant because it's sending out signals, but it has not been received by a phone in 7 days. So it goes dormant. All right. Why would a beacon do that? Well, we use what's called smart beacons. Okay. Some beacons, I'll give you a prime example. I'm trying to think of the name of the company I used. We used to use these little bitty pocket beacons. They were just little round beacons. They weren't in our platform. They were very inexpensive. They were throwaways. They weren't waterproof. And they never turned off. So the batteries would last, I don't know, 6 to 9 months, something like that, when you cranked them up full bore, maybe a year if you're lucky. But they never shut off. Okay. They constantly forever transmitted. And what happens is when a beacon constantly transmits radiance, yes, radiance or rad beacons, thank you, and sold thousands of those, literally thousands of those beacons, okay? When I started selling beacons, that's the first beacon I sold thousands by the truckloads. I used to have them shipped in every single day literally by the crates, okay? Now, with that beacon, the battery didn't last very long. So when we switched over, we went to what's called a smart beacon. A smart beacon is a beacon that says, okay, I've not received any data or no phone's received any data, so I'm shutting off, okay? And all it does is shut off the transmitter. Now, this is what happens. It'll ping once every 7 days, okay? And see if there's anything out there, and or as soon as a Bluetooth signal hits the beacon, it immediately goes live. Okay, it will ping, but it pings silently, looking for phones. Okay, the minute it is pinged, it goes live. It's called a smart beacon. The reason we use smart beacons is because this uses the exact same battery as the Radius beacon used, okay? It's got pretty much the exact same chip in it. The chips really aren't too different. They all do the exact same thing. But the difference is the smart technology in the beacon, which allows it to go dormant so it doesn't eat your battery up. And in that way, the beacon will the battery in these beacons last anywhere from 2 to 3 years, okay? Huge difference. I know I saw Jerry Dietrich come on earlier, and we at that time he was selling a lot of those beacons, and a lot of his customers, after 6 months or so, because we were cranking them up. It's the higher you crank the beacon, the further the distance, the further the radius, the more battery it uses. Okay, the more battery it uses. The more times you pulse, the more times it sends out a signal, the more battery it uses. So you burn your battery quicker. Your burn rate is a lot quicker. So I've got customers whose beacons are set at 3 to 5 feet. And you say, well, Kerry, why in the world would you set them at 3 to 5 feet? Because I use beacons properly. Okay. I set my stores up properly. I'm not trying to cover an entire store. We'll have one E2 beacon at the front that brings them into the store. And then we have a bunch of 3 to 5 foot beacons in the businesses that will go off when a customer passes a certain area. They receive a notification. That's proximity marketing, and that's the way you use beacons, okay? They're stationary, and or they will put them in a place, and or when we change their marketing strategy for the next month or the next quarter, we simply remove the beacons from where they're at and place them in another strategic location where they make sales. Now, what about those that want to carry their beacons with them? You can do that, okay? But you're going to have dormant beacons all the time. Why is that? because you're constantly moving the beacon and there's no one in that area that's able to pick them up. You have to have today an app. Okay. You had to have an app. I don't know if people realize this. I don't really think people realize this. You had to have an app previously. Okay. In order for beacon technology to work, except you just didn't have to download it. Now, a lot of phones, a lot of cell companies, they decided, well, we don't want that turned on. So a lot of people were working around with Nearby on their phone, but it wasn't turned on. Okay. In the UK, Nearby is not turned on by any carrier. No one in the UK gets Nearby unless it's turned on. So when Nearby came out, people freaked out and said, oh my gosh, I got to download an app. You had to download an app anyway, but it was already on your phone. Okay. If it wasn't on your phone, then you went and downloaded Nearby. And some of the, if you bought what I call a less expensive phone from a less expensive carrier, they do not completely load up their phones. Why? Because they are less expensive. They don't have the more powerful batteries in them. People don't realize that one of the most expensive parts of a phone is the battery. The bigger the battery, the more expensive the phone. The bigger the CPU, okay, what runs the phone. The bigger the computer in the phone, the bigger the battery, the more you're able to do with it. All right. So getting rid of Nearby, everybody's like, oh my gosh. But before Nearby went away, everybody was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't work. So what we did is we created a product called Nearby, okay, and it's an app and you download it. Well, how do you market Nearby? Okay, you market a lot of ways. You market it on Facebook. You market it through your app, okay, through your business app, all right? And please go to, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, because we're going to stay into the platform. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, please go to the show that's on Beacon Funnels at 8 o'clock, okay? So if you see a dormant beacon, that just means that you put it somewhere. It's probably in a drawer in your car that you're not driving or something. It just hasn't received a signal. These over here are the beacons that are notifying. Okay. These are beacons, and you can see I've got two. This is today. I've received 60 notifications. I've not clicked on it. My Nearby or my Nearby is turned on all the time. So I'm constantly receiving notifications. Okay. Up here, you will see your best performing beacons. Your best performing beacons are based on clicks, okay, and click-throughs. Your least performing are based on the same thing. So if you've got a store, if you've set these up in a store and you've done it properly, you want to see what's your best performing and what's your least performing. If you have a least performing beacon, that means it's not in the proper place for the business, okay, that you put it in. So if you have a least performing beacon, that means that two things are happening. You've put it somewhere where there's no product and nobody's going in that area, or you've put it in an area that they place product hoping that someone goes by that area, but the beacon proximity is not set out far enough, and or they're not using the other beacons in the store to drive them to the area where that is. So what does a business have when that happens? You can literally walk in. I don't know if you realize this. You can walk into a store and completely analyze their entire square footage with beacons. You can be their hero, but most people go out and just sell a beacon as some, I don't know what they sell it as, but they don't sell it as the tool that it actually is. This beacon right here, if you've got a least performing beacon, you could go to your customer and say, hey, can I see where you've got this beacon because it's not performing well? Well, I've got it over here with our sale items. Are your sell items moving? No, and I don't know why. Now you can help them evaluate and analyze why they're not moving product based on the beacon technology alone. Beacons are more than just something that transmits a signal. Beacons are something that you receive analytical data from that's right here on your front page telling you, hey, man, these beacons are hot. Hey, I bet these products over here move well, don't they? Yeah, they do. All of our sales pop up in this area. Okay, are you driving them over here to where this beacon is? Right here, this least performing beacon that's got maybe 2 hits on it in the last 2 months. What do you mean driving them over there? This is what you do. You take your best performing beacons, and when you create your beacon card, your markdown card, and we're going to talk about this next week. When you create your markdown card, you use that markdown card to drive them to the least performing area of the store so that they increase their revenue per square footage so that they're making actual money in their store. Stores base revenue on square footage. Okay. Some stores need to make $30 a square foot. Some stores need to make $100 a square foot. Some stores need to make $1,000 a square foot, and they're paying anywhere from $2 to $5 a square foot for that square footage. So what you want to use your beacons for is as the tool that they're made to be used for. Okay. I had a lady call me yesterday, said, hey, said, I'm going to on vacation to this particular place. And she said, how many people are going to see my beacon? I said, no one. What do you mean no one? Did you market your Nearby app in that area before you went so everybody would download your app so that they could get the information? Well, no. Why would I do that? Because you have to have a device on your phone in order to receive the signal from the beacon. You know, we've only been putting this out since like October. So she said, oh, I forgot all about that. Well, secondly, I personally wouldn't go on vacation and put a beacon in my pocket hoping that everybody sees it. Okay. Because the chance of that happening is slim and none. This is what I would do with a beacon. In my local area, if I was a marketer, okay, and I was trying to drive traffic to my business, I would put a little SMS sticker on my window that says, hey, interested in whatever your business is, okay? Hey, would you like to make money doing this? Would you like to lose, do you want to lose more weight? I know we have Mary on here tonight. She's a health person, okay? And she talks about and shares with people how to lose weight and most importantly, how to eat healthy, which is the most important thing we can do, right? We need to eat healthy. So if I was the health person and I want to share with people how to lose weight, I would put something maybe on my window that said, hey, text lose weight to this number, okay? And they receive a text message and they do one of two things. They either can download your app or they can download the Nearby app because you want to spread the Nearby app, right? You want as many people to have the Nearby app as possible because every time they get around your car, they're going to receive that signal or within 1,000 feet, okay? Keto diet. I need to go on the keto diet. I've been reading about that. I read about it all night last night. So what happens is now you've created a stationary place. Your business is your car, truck, whatever it is, okay? And you keep that beacon in there and you do some type of advertising, some type of marketing so that people use the tools that you have in order to get that information out there. Dissemination of information so people can make an informed decision is what marketing is all about. And I highly encourage you, Mike, put that blog post in there one more time. Go to read the blog for today. Okay. And for those of you that don't, Mike is my partner in Beacon Funnels. Okay. Mike is my partner in Beacon Funnels. Yes. Window clings for Nearby. You put the phone number on there. They text Nearby to the phone number and they receive the Nearby app. As soon as they receive the Nearby app, it tells them, hey, turn on your Bluetooth. They turn on their Bluetooth. And if they're within the range of that beacon, which they will be, because they're doing this all right there at your car, they download the Nearby app and bam, what happens? They immediately get a signal from the beacon, okay, that gives, and they click on that because they got a notification sound. They say, hey, what is that? Look at there, man. That tells you how to lose weight. And they download the app. That's how it works. That's how it works. You know, I keep 2 or 3 beacons in my car because I market different things. Okay. I market different things. So I want them to download my app. I also want them to download Nearby. Okay. And I like sending them to a splash page. So, but my car is what? My car is my office. My car is my brick and mortar, right? My car is my brick and mortar. That's my business. Now my brick and mortar may change, but I want to drive people to, okay, my devices that disseminate that information so people can properly make an informed decision on what they want to do in their life. Okay. So you have your notifying beacons, you have your dormant beacons, okay, your best performing beacons. Now I want to show you something right here. And this is another place most people get confused. The blue is the recent, If it's today, it's today. If it's the most recent week, the most recent month, whatever it is. Yesterday was yesterday. Okay, right here's a box. Can everybody see this live right here where it says disable live apps? Can everybody see that? There's a little green dot right here. Awesome. Okay. Does everybody see it refreshing? Does everybody see this constantly refreshing? You'll see the screen actually flash, and that's giving updates. Okay. Let me open up a Nearby here. All right. I'm sitting here opening up some beacons. Okay, let me do it on my other phone here real quick. You're going to see that refresh and you're going to see it auto update. You can turn it off. I'm going to show you to turn it off in just a second. One of these beacons, I have a bot on it. Bots are really cool. I've got my Facebook bot on it, and it's sending me a message right now because I opened up that beacon on my phone. Okay. Now, to turn this off, if you're doing, like when you're doing lives or when you're on your computer, this is using resource on your computer, okay? Depending on how powerful your computer is, you may want to reach up here and turn this off. Okay, just go up here and you can disable it. It turns off and you can enable it. Okay, it says disable. I disabled, and it'll say enable and enable. All right. Just click it, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it. All right. So it's on, it's on. Now let's go over here to today. This is last 7 days. This is probably the biggest confusion most people have. Last 7 days is not today. It's yesterday and the previous 7 days. Okay. To see today's, you have to go to today. All right. You have to go to today. To see yesterday, you have to go to yesterday. All right. Last 30 days does not include today. It's yesterday and the previous day. All right. Same thing with the month. And you can also do a custom date. These are exceptional to use when you're talking to your customers. You can see in here where I came. I've done in the last 30 days. I've sat here and clicked on it 6 times or 66 times, 3,106 notifications. So you can see my stuff is constantly on and constantly updating. And I've had a click-through rate of 2.12%. How do you get that? You divide 66 by 3,106 and you get 2.12%. That's the click-through rate. Okay, that's your click-through rate. And what you're able to do is you're able to come in here and you say, hey, this beacon's getting a lot of clicks, but this beacon's getting none. Okay. And so we're going to go into analytics. If not next week, the next week. Okay. Now, so this is your overview. All right. This is your overview, and that's what you see. And you can come in here and you can go to today or whatever you want to do. All right. Now, remember I showed you a while ago, I said, okay, I'm clicking on my stuff. This is what I did here. I have an 8.06 because I got 62 notifications. I clicked on them 5 times. I clicked on 2 different beacons that I use for demo. Okay. And there's my click-through rate. And that's today. Now you'll notice you don't see it for the last 7 days. You don't see a change, but you do for today. Now tomorrow, you'll see a change for the last 7 days. All right. And that's one of the biggest. I get a call on that all the time. Hey, I don't see my beacons. They're not working. They're not working. They're not working. Go to today. You can see it. All right. The next button is places. Places is extremely important because places is where your beacon actually is. Okay. Now, for example, if you're in a store, let me pull up a store here. Okay, we're going to call this store. All right, we're going to look up Commerce, Texas. we're going to zoom this out. Let's come down here. Okay, this is Castillo Tire right here. I traded Castillo Tire. So their bay is right here, and their counter is right here. So let's say that I want to put one at the bay. All right. I can put that at the bay, and I can say, call this Castillo Bay. All right. I've actually got the beacon at the bay. All right. But what if I wanted to put another beacon at the checkout counter that's got a 6 foot range that gives them something else? I can do that. I can do that. So, create as many places as you want and give every single beacon their individual place so that when you go into the analytics, you'll be able to see every place that's designed, okay, and everything that you see so that you know exactly what analytics is doing what. Maybe you start seeing nothing at the bay, okay? There's nothing at the bay. And you go and you say, something's wrong with that beacon. And then you call up Juan at Castillo and say, Juan, hey, the beacon's not working at your bay. Could you go out and check and see if it's even there? And Juan comes back and says, it's not even there. Somebody took it or whatever, or it's there and the battery's dead. They've had it there for 10 years or whatever. But so you have to make sure that you set every single beacon up individually because they are individual. Let me give you a prime example. Let's say that you're using your car as your brick and mortar. You're using your car as your brick and mortar. What's going to happen next? You got the front of the car, you got the back of the car. Maybe you keep one in the front window, maybe you keep one in the back window. Put exactly where those beacons are and don't put them at the same place so that you can see the differentiation in the analytics, exactly what beacon's doing what. If you put beacons in a store, maybe you got 10 beacons in a store. Maybe it's 1,000 square foot and you need to put each individual one in there. And all you got to do is blow this up. You can see the stores on Google. Okay. Here's a building right here. Here's Castillo's right here. All you got to do is put this where it is in the store. Okay. This is the whole building. Maybe I want to put it over here. Okay. This is the whole building right here. All right. So make sure that you're using places properly, but more importantly, make sure that you're using places. I can tell you, and I won't do it, but I can tell you now, I can probably look at 5,000 beacons across this country that say Carrie's master bedroom. Carrie's master bedroom. I just can't comprehend that. You got a total tool that will give you every bit of the information for your business because we're marketers, right? We're here to market to a business. We're here to teach them and show them how to increase their business, to increase their return on investment for their marketing dollars. And you've got the beacon showing that it's in my master bedroom. So you have to think about that. You have to think about that. Use the tools for what the tool is supposed to be used for. Absolutely. Absolutely. Unless you're just marketing one particular thing out to the parking lot. I mean, a store has many areas in it. Target and Macy's was the first to use beacons in their stores. They put thousands and thousands of beacons in their stores so that when you're walking down an aisle, you're going to receive a beacon notification for a specific something for sale in that area for that place. People's conception or misconception of beacons is that we take one beacon and walk into a place and that's their marketing strategy. That's further from the truth. Your marketing strategy is to drive people throughout that store purchasing this. And then when somebody purchased this, you drive them to the next area and they purchase this, and you drive them to the next area and they purchase this, and you tell them what to do via technology that disseminates information so they can make an informed decision to make the purchase that they're wanting to make. Everybody understand that? You could have a coupon at every single area. Absolutely, you could. Absolutely, you could. You absolutely could. And that's the way you drive traffic. Not only do you have a coupon, but let's say you drive some. Let me use this example that I use often. Let's say that you're selling clothes, okay, and someone buys a pair of jeans, and these jeans are on sale. This is what you used your big beacon at the door for. You drove them in to buy those jeans. When they open up the markdown card, which will be into the markdown cards next week, okay, when they open up the markdown card is going to show those jeans, okay, and when they get to that area, but on the bottom of that, it's going to say, hey, people that bought these jeans also bought this blouse. So what do? You drive them to the blouse area because now, I've got to have what Jeannie bought, okay? So when they go over to the blouse area, people who bought this blouse also bought this belt. So now you take them over to the accessories area. And you literally drive them around the store. They came in to save 30% on a pair of jeans. They take that 30% of the money that they saved and go spend it on every other thing in the store, which has what? A greater return, a greater markup, because the margins are greater on accessories and earrings and stuff like that than it is on a pair of jeans. So you drive them to the place to buy the things that gives you the greatest markup or margins so that the store does what? Increases their sales and makes more money. And it has nothing to do with nearby. It has everything to do with marketing. And that's a great question. I greatly appreciate that. Anybody else have any questions? I've got several stores that have 10, 12, 15 beacons. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, if you're putting it in a car, you're probably marketing yourself. And the marketing strategy is a little bit. And we're going to talk about strategy as we're going through this training. I want to get through the platform, and we're going to stop here with places tonight. And I wanted to get through the platform, but I want to ensure that everybody understands beacons. They do very well because they drive people around the store. We've seen increases of 30 to 40% in sales in some areas. The whole purpose of a beacon is this: to drive your customer where you want them and to monitor. It's not just about the customer, to monitor the areas of the store that are making. I've got a lady that owns a boutique, and I've told this story for a year. She was one of my first customers. I called her up one day. I said, hey, your beacons were doing really well. And I said, you've got one beacon in the back of the store that literally has stopped. I said, it's transmitting. I said, I see a few notifications. I said, but man, it used to be one of your hottest areas. I said, do you know what happened? She said, I don't know. She said, let me go look. They had brought some inventory in about 3 weeks prior to that, and her husband had unloaded the inventory. And where did he put the boxes? In front of the area where she was selling accessories, one of her highest margin products. She called me back. She said, how did you know that? I said, it's in your analytics that we talked about, when we first set your beacons up, that we can monitor that and see that. She said, I don't care about sales. She said, I don't care about sending out coupons. I want you to come up and I want you to teach me every single thing what this beacon tells me in my store so that I can properly market all my products and move articles that I need to sell to the hot areas on my floor. She still uses the coupons. She didn't stop doing that. But her main focus is traffic, square footage, and what areas of that store are hot. Because she wants to move product, and she watches it like a hawk. And you can show and teach your customers how to do that. We can set up every one of your customers with their own single dashboard. Okay. Now, I don't recommend, and we can turn it off to where they can't admin anything, but they can go in and see their analytics. And that's the best way to do that, because you're literally taking a customer. Nobody does this better than Amazon. No one. Because they tell you every single thing everybody bought when they bought this. And that's what I call this, the Amazon effect. Because you're telling people, hey, everybody else bought this when they bought these jeans. Everybody else bought this when they bought this set of tires. Everybody else bought this when they bought Mary's husband is into wine. So let me share a real life example how this would work. When people bought this wine, they would also buy this decanter. When they bought this decanter, they also bought this aerator. When they bought this aerator, they also bought these glasses. So what did you do? You just gave them an opportunity to pick up things that they did not even think about, okay? Products that they didn't even think about when they walked in to purchase that bottle of wine. You know, most people go home and pour wine in a plastic glass, when we all know that wine is much better in glass, okay? In glass, okay? You spin it around, you aerate it, you can get a great smell from it. You take a taste, you know, it's amazing. And or you pour it in a plastic glass and you never really enjoy that glass of wine. So not only are you telling them what people bought, you're educating them to the things that people use to enhance that experience with that wine that they just bought, you know? And I don't care if it's a $20 bottle of Moscato and or a $500 bottle of whatever, okay? And that's what you're doing. And people don't understand that until they realize, oh my gosh, I would have never known this, but this store is amazing. All of my friends have to come here and experience this because these people are teaching me how to drink wine through a mobile app. And that's how it works. And because I know that what products are moving and what Beacon is sending them to another place, I can literally see the movement from beacon to beacon via notifications. Okay. And then what do? They get over there and it says, hey, check our app for a special coupon. See, people make a huge mistake. To me, this is one of the greatest mistakes in the world. And I'm going to close with this. Okay. People must make a mistake of throwing coupons out there. What should a coupon be? A coupon should be something special that a customer can use. People use coupons to do what? They usually use coupons to drive them into the store. But what about those loyal customers? What about those customers that come in week after week after week? They get the same stinking coupon that everybody else gets. You want to do something special for that customer. So when they come in and they are always buying this $200 bottle of wine, hey, you know what? For our special customers, they receive the Beacon notification. Click here and get a special price on this bottle of wine today. And guess what happens when they click on that? Oh my gosh, I can go over and get a decanter for 15% off. I can go over and buy an aerator for $12 today. You know, I mean, what you can do, you know, yeah, a real plastic wine glass, you know, I mean, think about it. You know, you can literally have these people do whatever you want them to do, how you want them to do it, using this technology to move them in the place where they want to go. You know, everybody needs to forget the old days of the companies that were out there that were saying, buy beacons, turn them on, put them in your pocket, and they will drive you $1 million worth of business. That was never real. It will never be real. And those companies are gone today. I am one of a very handful of few beacon companies that still exist. I am one of the largest purchasers of the beacons that we use in the United States. Why? Because I've always sold beacons for what they were and how they work and how you take them into businesses. You can still use them if your business is a car. You just have to market a little bit different way. And driving people into the Nearby and or your app, your beacon, your app, and so they can get the Nearby. And we're coming out with a product very soon where Nearby is going to be built into the app. It's going to be a high-end product. This isn't a cheap product that's coming out. This isn't something you can go give away. Okay, this is going to be the Cadillac. This is going to be our Rolls Royce. All right, but it's got the Nearby technology built into it. So, any questions on places and any questions on the dashboard at all? This opened people's minds. We've got a full house tonight, and I'm really glad of that. This opened people's minds what beacons really are and how to use beacons and how to drive traffic and how to help businesses increase their revenues and gain a greater respect for the technology versus what we thought the technology was. Trust me, there's not they extreme. I could put a beacon in your car right now and the vortex wouldn't touch it. Yep. These things are very, very durable. Very durable. There's no temperatures in the United States that can hurt these beacons. Any questions? Any questions at all? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, go over to Beacon Funnels, and Mike and I are going live in about 20 minutes. I'm going to talk a little bit about the same what we talked about tonight, but we're going to elaborate on a couple of other things. It's going to kind of be a carry-on on what this was. Next week, we're going to go into the beacons themselves. We're going to go into markdown cards. I'm not even going to say we will. We won't get into forms until the next week, but our new product is getting ready to come out. Okay. All right. All right. Absolutely, Mary. All right, everybody have a great evening. God bless, and we will see you over on the live.